In your sculpture you have an element which involves a memory, but not a computer-like memory, a mechanical memory which influences the transformation of the object. Can you say something about it?
I actually just took a class in electronics thinking that I might want to try and learn how to use a computer to operate a sculpture that would let me turn motors off and on in a sort of complicated way, and basically decided that that wasn't the right approach, that I'm looking to do something that is built and not stored away in a little chip that you don't see. I want all the workings to be part of how the thing moves and why it moves, and I don't like the electronics. I don't want switches. I don't want basically anything that's hidden. You know, the computer to me is useful for many reasons, but it is not, to me, part of sculpture. Sculpture is about mass and about physical reality, and to escape that and make it out of something that's a digital little piece of memory really is the wrong approach. And so I think of the sculptures as bones and ligaments, and those are moved by muscles, and they have to work. And I think that the computer allows us to do a lot of things that maybe we shouldn't do. And so there's a certain honesty to just trying to build something in a way that has to work, that's not depending too much on really intricate technology. And it's just a sort of argument for human beings as opposed to computers, that we want to make things with our hands still, that there's a reason to do that.
Can you tell us specifically about the project we did for the Artship in the last year?
Well, we got a very generous grant from the Creative Work Fund, and it was a grant to basically to approach the problem of making this ship accessible. How do you experiment with this ship and learn how to make it accessible and bring wheelchairs in through this place and bring other people with disabilities through this ship in a safe way, but in a way that's not a cheap afterthought the way most accessible design is done, because people don't really want to do it. They don't find it inspiring, and it's just a big problem. And so how do you approach the problem in a way that's from an artist's point of view? How do you turn the problem into something that has some life to it and some experimentation to it? It was a very complicated thing to approach and think about what we wanted to do, and you and I worked very well together on that, and sort of had our differences at the beginning about what we were going to do, and I think once we sort of got through that point, it was really very exciting and fun and free to look at this incredible ship and see, take our cues from it and try and do something that was going to live up to this sort of construction, this incredible steel sculpture, really, that how would you add to this without making it seem like a cheap thing built in 2000 or 2001. We basically did about 4 sculptures, and one clips to the side of the ship and brings water up from the bay, and one is here under the floor of the ramp that comes up, and a few are outside. It's about work, and it's about trying to figure out what place mechanical sculpture would have in accessibility. Bringing up a mechanism from below deck where wheelchairs can't get to yet, but taking a mechanism that is a beautiful thing, that's a beautiful old design part of the boat, and bringing it up and exposing it and sharing it with people, and making this ramp into something that other than a ramp, and making that waiting out on the deck something other than just waiting, so that at every stage you have a sort of sign that we're paying attention here. We care about how people are being treated. So to try and solve the sort of practical problems that we initially were going to approach, I think it was very freeing to move to a problem that was clipping to the side of the ship and bringing water up from the bay, and having that goal, this sort of impractical problem, lead the way and tell us what the thing needed to be. And so it was sort of just that act of reaching down the 30 feet down to the water and bringing it up and making this huge body of water into one little vessel that came up and was a small little gift that could do something and make something happen on a small scale as opposed to a large scale. And so as to bring a very big idea down to a small, approachable level.
What is your wish? What is your heart's desire?
Space and time to do work, and a world where the work means something. It's been hard, I think, after events of September 11th, that you wonder what you're doing. And I guess after a pause, you realize you need to get back to work, and you need to argue for something other than greed, something other than inhumanity to man. And you need to think about just living a life that's positive and not getting too angry, but being thoughtful. So I guess a world where that's possible, a dialogue, would be nice. We'll see.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for joining us.